listening to Table for Five with Felicia and Annette, only on LA Talk Radio.
Good morning. Good Monday morning.
Monday morning.
It's
the last Monday in January.
In January, yes. Yeah. January is over and done with.
Yes, it is. First month of the year gone.
Almost.
We only have 11. For us, for the Monday.
Yes.
For our shows.
Yes.
Yes. So we have only 11 more months to do.
Well, good morning, everyone. If you're wondering what you're listening to, what you're watching, good Monday morning. Welcome to Table for Five, our show, Table for Five. Here, where you, the listening and viewing audience, will always have a seat here, right here at our lovely little table.
Yes.
Our little, get together every Monday. So go get your coffee, go get your milk, go get your soda. Whatever it is that you're drinking, go get your, vodka. Shoot, what time is
what?
it? 11. It's 11. It's 5
what
o'clock
is it?
somewhere.
I was going to say it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Listen, you can have a mimosa.
I'll drink to that.
Yes.
Well, the vodka's on set.
Yeah.
No, we are not giving them vodka.
Oh, and it's the year of the dog, but I promise not to bark.
Oh!
Oh my gosh!
This is going to be a fun show.
Yeah, it's going to be an awesome show. Awesome
Yes.
show. We've got two in-studio guests
Yes,
today.
we do.
It's going to be a great show. We're I'm already giggling. But anyways, if you want to jump in on the conversation today, we're going to be talking about the Grammys. We've got some hot topics to talk about. And today is our first politics show. We're going to be having
of the year.
At
least once.
We're going to try to do like a dedicated politics show once a month because there's just so much foolishness going on that we kind of feel like we need to kind of keep you up in what's going on. And even though things change like every minute, every second, every day, we want to kind of wrap it all up and, so we don't know if it's going to be beginning of the month, end of the month. We haven't decided that. But we're going to try to do it once a month. Yeah. So this is our kickoff politics show. And we've got in studio guests, Gloria Stefanik, my aunt.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, she adores. Where's your applause?
Oh my gosh.
Well, not to be confused with Gloria Estevan, unfortunately.
Yes, I was going to say, that's very similar.
Stefanik, yes.
Yes.
Yes. Maybe if you dyed your hair.
I could do that.
Yeah.
And Sheldon Marder?
Correct.
Oh,
Sheldon Marder,
good.
yes.
Marder, yeah.
You get an applause. You get an applause. Everybody gets an applause here today at Table for Five.
Exactly.
So
You get
if you
applause
guys
for
have any
showing up.
questions, if you want to talk politics, if you want to say anything, if you have anything to say about politics, give us a call or jump on Facebook Live.
Yes, we're on Facebook Live.
We're on Facebook Live right now, but the number to call is 818-570-5085. Again, 818-570-5085.
And like always, you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and our one-stop shop I call our website, which is www.table-5.com. And there you can catch up on. We're doing a photo shoot. Can you tell how pretty we look today?
Oh, Lord.
Very pretty.
I know, right?
Very pretty.
And so you can find pictures and old shows that you want to catch up on and, upcoming shows. And if you wish to advertise with us, that's the place where you would contact us and someone very professional will reach out to you and give you all the information.
As opposed to unprofessional.
I know, as opposed to us saying, what do you want? And so, someone will reach out to you and let you know how you can advertise with us. You can advertise on our Facebook. You can advertise on our Twitter, on our Instagram. We have great little tier, our homepage on our website. So, there's a lot to get out of the advertising with us. We put you on all our social media platforms. So
a lot of traffic.
Yeah, check it out. Let us know. And just send us a little comment. Let us know what you think about the show. And if you have a show idea you want us to talk about and give our honest opinion. It's not a professional opinion. It's just our honest opinion.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm professional sometimes.
I mean professional in a, like, are you a doctor? Are you a lawyer? Professional opinion in that respect.
Indian chief, all that stuff.
But we just give our opinion.
Opinionator.
There you go.
There you go.
Is that a word?
I like that.
I don't know. But
Yeah, that's a Felicia-ism. Here we go.
Yeah.
And
we have
professionalism is so underrated.
I know, right? Who are you telling? So that's where you can get all that information and you can just connect with us. Or right now, you could also just drop a line here on our Facebook Live.
Yep. Let us know that you're watching. If you have any
LA Talk
questions
Radio.
there, you can pop them up there, and we will try to get to them. I will try to be diligent in watching the screen. Last week, somebody called. Was it 2 weeks ago?
No,
they
last
called
week.
at like 2 minutes left to the show. Don't
we
call
missed
me at 2. No, don't call me at 2 minutes left
Well,
to the show.
yeah, we could have said hello.
Don't.
We could have said hello.
No.
We could have said
I'm not
hello.
doing that.
Who's this?
And
Thanks
then
for
hung up.
calling. We can't talk to you right now.
Is that what you want me to say? No, don't
End
call
of
me
story.
don't call me at
Yeah.
2 minutes to the end of the show. Call me now.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
Anyway, so I have to shut. Okay, guys, forgive me. This is a live show, but my headphones are so loud. I
Oh,
can't-
you're going. Yeah, it's too loud for you.
It's too loud.
That's what happens when you're on live.
Yeah, they're blaring.
Everything is happening. It's all going.
I might have to take one out.
It goes.
Okay.
It goes. It goes.
Woo,
It goes.
That's really loud.
So we're gonna start off with some hot topics. Weekend plans. Did you do anything fun this weekend? Last week during the week since you saw us last.
Trying to think. Oh, we went to the Real.
Yes.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Oh my God.
That's right.
Yes, we have pictures up
we
and
have
everything.
Pictures on our web. Well, I don't know if they're on the website, but they're on our Facebook. They're on our Instagram. Felicia and I, decided to go be an audience member at the Real.
So much fun.
Was that Tuesday?
Last Tuesday.
Yes. So we just did, like regular people. Got on the line. Waited like regular people.
Yeah, it was a long line.
It was a long line, and it was a
wait.
long walk.
And a long wait.
Yeah, and a long wait. But it was fun. We had a lot of fun. I thought it was really good to see. And then we were able to go behind the scenes, and we took pictures with the hosts, and they were really gracious.
Yes, very lovely ladies.
They were
Got to
super
meet them,
gracious.
The other three for the first time.
Yeah.
And so lovely. So thank you all so much, The Real, for having us backstage.
There was
a great
Lonnie,
experience.
Jeannie, and Adrian. We didn't meet
Tamara. I don't know if it's Tamara.
It's Tamara.
Sorry.
It's Tamara.
Okay.
We didn't meet
Yes,
Tamara.
we didn't meet Tamara.
But it was a fun show, and
Next time.
it aired Friday. We missed it.
Yeah, my kids saw it.
They did?
Yes.
They go to school?
Yes, they did. It comes on at like 2 in the afternoon or 3 in the afternoon. I think it comes on at 3.
Oh.
Yeah,
I
and
was
they
getting
were
my
out of
hair
school
colored.
on Friday early, and they were at the Paseo Club, and I
That's
picked them up, and they were like,
nice.
That's a
"Mommy,
nice
I saw
plug
the
for
show."
the Paseo Club.
There you
Yes.
go.
Yeah,
in Santa
yeah.
Clarita.
Yeah,
They should advertise.
I know they
Hello.
should. Come on,
Reach out. Somebody very professional. Reach out to you.
I
So we did go to the Real, and then
T-shirts.
I know, right?
Very
Somebody.
very-
So we
Anyway.
did that on Tuesday, so that was a lot of fun. And then I'm trying to think what I did over the week. I mean, we had family stuff that we had to do, which wasn't very exciting.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I had an exciting weekend.
Yes.
You
Can
did.
I
Oh,
just- can I
yes,
just
you
jump in?
did.
I did.
Okay, we have to say happy birthday to
Yes.
you. Happy
Happy
birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gloria.
Happy birthday to you.
Well, thanks, y'all.
She's been celebrating like for the last 2 weeks.
That's how you do
I
it.
have,
What did
really.
you do this weekend?
My family took me to Moon Shadows in Malibu.
Isn't that place the best?
You
They should
know,
advertise.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
I think Sheldon's
Well,
been
you
in
know,
this every
I-
week.
hard
it
one.
was the day was magnificent, seriously. And you just pick a day and hope for the best. This was probably one of the best days at the beach I think that I've had in years.
On January. In
In January. Now,
That's why we live in California.
exactly. And we were driving to the beach, and there wasn't a lot of traffic. It was Sunday, and it was just gorgeous. And I have relatives that live back east, and I was really feeling sorry for them because I know the weather is awful back there. And I was hoping I could bring them all and just kind of be here with us. But it was a gorgeous day. We had really nice food there,
Oh, it's
super time,
beautiful.
and then we left there. And actually, my 2 great nephews had a basketball game that afternoon, which they didn't go to because it was so great at the beach. They played hooky, and we stopped.
And
Good
Gloria's
mom.
birthday got them.
Yes,
Good
and we
mom.
actually found a spot as we were driving away to park by the beach, so we all got out of the car and walked on the beach barefooted.
Yes.
It was just one of the nicest impromptu
magical, yeah.
family days that I've had, and we found this bunch of mussels on the rocks, and we were trying to take them off of there, and it was just it was just a magnificent day at the beach. So that was my weekend, which
That's
was
beautiful.
really
Full
great.
disclosure, mine as well, because she's my
Yes,
You were
so
together.
I didn't want to. I didn't know if it would be appropriate,
Yes,
but yes,
no, that's
Felicia
fine.
is my niece, and it was So it was.
So it was a
awesome.
great weekend.
It
And I
really
think you
was.
went out
Beautiful.
Friday night.
I
and
did
Saturday
Friday,
night.
Saturday, Sunday. I'm
Oh, I
going
love
out tomorrow
it.
night, and
Yes, listen, honey.
That's
when
the way
we
to
all-
live. Let's
Party.
lesson number one. Live.
But the thing is too, you have a birthday, but you're going to be that same age the whole year.
Yeah.
So why the heck can't you celebrate it that whole year?
Epiphany.
I agree.
Epiphany.
Seriously.
I'm Epiphany, and I love to celebrate myself.
Yeah, and people say, well,
So she just gave me a wonderful excuse.
there you go.
What are
It's-
we? A couple of months away from May?
So
Yeah.
you can
Start now,
start
girl.
now and then
Hey.
just do it
I
all the
love
way
it.
in.
May
Yeah.
what?
May 29th.
Well, happy
15th.
birthday.
Oh, okay. You're a Taurus.
I am a Taurus.
Yeah,
I will
Gemini.
be in Venice.
Oh, like
On my-
Italy? Venice,
like
Italy?
Venice, Italy, on my birthday.
What are we doing?
Fantastic.
What are we doing?
I don't know.
What-
We're waiting to get to
No.
You're waiting
I
to get
heard-
to Venice, California?
Exactly. I heard someone very wise once say you should retire along the way. Not just retire. Retire along the way, which means enjoy life along the way. Don't just wait
That's
to that
beautiful.
moment, right? Isn't
Yeah,
that
I
smart?
like that, yes.
Yeah, so that's how I'm going to live my life.
All
Robert,
right.
I'm sorry. It's going to cost
We're
somebody.
retiring right now.
Yeah.
Along the way.
Exactly. This is our retirement. Well, that's one. Did you have anything special, or were you partying with her?
Partly.
We did that
Partly.
Saturday night.
Oh,
was,
did
Saturday, I had
was the
I
party at
had
his
some
house.
family in from Toronto,
Oh,
and so
fun.
we had a little get together. And then Wednesday last, we took Gloria out to her dinner to Lowry's. They should advertise.
Nice.
I'm just going to throw that
Listen,
in.
you're just throwing. I mean, everybody that we're
Really?
giving a plug to, you need to contact
Yes.
us.
Yeah, they need to
Contact.
pay you for this
Contact
stuff,
them.
you know?
Yes. I
can't just
agree
give
with
it
that
away for
wholeheartedly. That's
I
right.
know. Yeah, well, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, you want to
Fun
jump
weekend.
into this?
What else did we do? We did that, and then we just did family stuff. What did we do on Saturday? I don't even really
Did you have
remember.
games, practice?
No,
Yeah.
we played hooky from that too. Oh, Dominic had testing. My older son is doing testing for private school. So for the last 2 weekends, he's been doing testing for the 3 different schools that he's applying to. So everybody out there, good vibes, send good vibes to my
Yes.
baby. This is like no joke. This applying for high school thing is like serious. It's like no
It's a
joke.
precursor for college,
Yeah,
which
but
college is
and
no
I am
joke.
happy that we're going through it because then he can get a taste of what it's like to do college and understand the importance of stuff, you know, like grades and extracurricular things and filling out applications and studying for, you know, extra tests, because that was a little hard to try to sell him on that.
Yeah.
But that's all done with, and so we did that in the morning and then had some things in the afternoon to do. Still dealing with my crazy dog. If y'all know or know anything about me or follow me, you know my kid, my kid. Yeah, he is like my kid. He is my 3rd child, and I really wish that I could give him away for adoption, but I don't think anybody could afford to take care of him. Because his dog has got a lot of issues. He's got allergy. He's got allergy
Well, if you wanted to
shots,
give him
especially.
away, you can't now,
I
even
know
if you
just,
wanted
you
to
just
before.
told that he was kind of.
Yeah, no one can afford to pay for his care. I tried to get him health insurance. Couldn't do that because he had a pre-existing condition. So listen, it's rough out
my
here
gosh.
for people with animals that love them too damn much.
Well, it's expensive.
Yes,
That's what it
expensive
is.
and rough. So that was it. That was my weekend. Oh, and then we watched the Grammys. Did you watch the Grammys? I think
Yes,
you
I
guys watched
did.
the Grammys. Okay, she is so dramatic. Okay, go ahead. What did not you like? What did not you like?
Wow.
What kind of English is
That's
that?
what happens when you watch the Grammys,
good.
and all that was hip hop. That's how
That's
you want
good.
to
What
talk.
did not you
That's
like?
yes.
I like that.
Thank
I
you.
agree
Right.
with you, yeah.
Thank you so much, sir.
What did not you like?
Yeah, exactly. Can you want to try that again? What didn't
you
I like?
What didn't
Actually, I
you
like that.
Right? What didn't I like? Well, okay, so I'm a musical person. I have a musical family.
Yes.
I come from a musical background, so I'm very, very. My expectation is up here, and
Of the Grammys or Grammys American Music Awards?
no.
Do you-
American Music Awards is pop. I mean, that's like a whole. The Grammys is an institution that's been around for 60 years,
Okay.
and it's gotten diluted with the quality of music that is presented. And I'll tell you why hip hop kind of reigned yesterday, and a little bit of country, a little bit of theater because they were in New York, so of course they had to do
Right.
theater. But it's what's popular. It's what's going to garner them ratings. So people are going to want to watch Cardi B
performances,
or
yeah.
Kendrick Lamar because those are the people who are making money right now. So I get why these Grammys do that. But what I don't get is the lack of musicianship that they present to the world, because the world is watching the Grammys.
But are you talking in terms of the categories or
No,
like,
I'm talking
or
about
performances?
stage presentation.
So you didn't like all of the
performances.
performances?
No. They back in the day, and I'm a little older. Back in the day, they had everything. Like you would watch the Grammys, and if you had never heard
Yeah.
classical music, you heard classical music. If you've never
In a
known
performance,
blues,
you mean?
yeah, you
Well,
saw
it was more
blues.
eclectic. It was definitely
Right.
more
Yes.
eclectic.
Exactly.
And now it's, the focus is very narrow, and it's extraordinarily commercial.
Yes.
Not that it hadn't been commercial, but it was on a wider level of trying to get a variety of viewers. Now it's basically the demographics of the 18 to whatever year olds.
Exactly. And this is what the part that really annoys me is because even if the demographic is 18 to 34 or the millennial or whatever, those kids, some of them are studying classical music. Some of them are learning classical piano. Some of them, it's the first time they'll ever see a classical instrument or music presented. So why can't you mix it up? You just could do one thing. It doesn't have to be the whole show. It could be one person. One year they did something really, really smart where they combined artists. So let's say they had a Yo-Yo Ma with somebody that was pop. So they combined the two, and it was fun because you saw him on his cello. It was like this, oh wow, look how cool that is. And then you got a little bit of pop. This year it was straight up hip hop, country. It was awful.
No, I disagree. So I feel like I liked the fact that there were artists there that can sing. Like Lady Gaga, she had.
But she's always there. She was the only
performance.
one.
Okay, but I don't want to take anything away from any of these people.
But Lady Gaga is a Juilliard graduate, classically trained jazz singer.
And so she came and she played her genre of music that she loved and she was into. She had orchestras in the back, so people had the opportunity to see instruments being played.
No, she didn't. She had a piano and a guitarist. She did not have an orchestra in the background.
She did. Somebody had an orchestra. I thought
it wasn't Lady Gaga.
Are
no,
you sure?
Positive.
Okay.
I
Somebody did. I remember somebody did.
It might have been Elton John with Miley Cyrus.
I think he did too. I feel like I don't know. We'll have to go back.
Anybody who saw it can hit us up on Facebook and tell us.
Let me know. I think she had a full orchestra in the back of her.
No, she did.
On stage because she was like in the middle of the stage.
I wish I would have seen it so I could have, at least kind of jumped in here.
But I also feel like I do agree with you where I do wish that there was probably a little more diversity. I felt like there was a lot of performances, and I don't know if there are always that many performances. And I felt like for that amount of performances, they could have given us a little bit more variety. Listen, I don't listen to country music. I fast forward to the country music stuff. I think the hip hop artists that they chose were really great. I don't love Cardi B, but I know a lot of people do. And Bruno Mars. I mean, everybody loves Bruno Mars. He's very popular. But you're right. It's what people want to see. It's what everybody wants to see. I mean, I don't know.
No, I don't want to see that.
I don't want to sit there and just watch all classical or
no, that's not what I'm saying. It's like take one of the most popular classical artists that's familiar and put them and mix them up and put them with Miley Cyrus like they did one.
Then you would have been happy. And I don't like Miley Cyrus with Elton John because I'm like, you need to. They took that girl and put a little dress on her, and I'm like, you need to stop because she was out there bumping and grinding on Robin Thicke. Was that the Grammys one year?
No, that was VH1.
Oh, okay.
Well, supposedly she's cleaning up her act.
Yeah.
And she's even, engaged or is going to get married or something or other. So
they put that awful
has to
dress
grow up
on
sometime.
her.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind that.
It was fake. It looked fake.
No, but if they had done that, like in the beginning when Kendrick Lamar had U2 come out and that mix up there and they performed and they kind of participated, they had to keep that going. They did it with Sting and I don't know who that other guy was, and Sting did his own song, and the guy came in at the end. Like they should have kept that going. It was
like
just
that
heavy
collaboration.
Collaboration with different genres of music. Like 5 hours before the show, literally they're handing out other Grammy awards to some of the most amazing musicians in the world. There was no true musicianship on that show.
Well, I think it was all about the performances. I think they wanted.
Well, that's what musicianship is.
Yeah,
Are you kidding me?
Well, but people want to tune in to see who they want to see.
No, they need to see everything. That's what the Grammys.
That's what you're trying to tell people.
No, if you ask
they don't want to see that.
No, because if you ask any musician who's a true musician, they're going to tell you that show sucked.
Okay, well. But
well,
a lot
again,
of other people who liked hip hop.
Demographic, and they're going for the.
Yeah, but we don't live in a world of hip hop.
Well,
but it's not just hip hop, though. I mean, I feel like hip hop has been raped. The culture of hip hop has been raped because they'll take it, they put it in commercials, they use it to sell stuff, but it was very underrepresented last night at the Grammys. It was just, Kendrick Lamar, I don't want to take anything away from Kendrick Lamar, he's amazing, but there are a lot of other amazing hip hop artists that are never represented and hardly ever represented on any shows. So yeah, you can't sit there and say that it was like completely heavy on hip hop. It just wasn't, in my opinion. So
Kendrick Lamar's opening act was about 10 minutes.
Okay.
That's a lot of time. That's a lot of airtime.
That's okay. He's good.
No.
Listen, I was at that concert. He did his thing.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, I was.
So she didn't like it.
I didn't like it.
It was okay.
The big upset was Jay-Z not winning a Grammy.
I know.
He was the most nominated artist of the night and didn't win anything.
I know.
I'm sure we'll be hearing about that on Twitter.
I know. A lot of people like. I mean, I like Jay-Z. That's my era. I mean, I'm all for him. But Kendrick is like, he's a bad dude. I'm sorry.
I don't know either
Jay-Z,
one of them, so I can't speak to that.
I don't.
My boys
Well,
know.
most of them.
You should listen, and
No.
I'll listen to some classical.
No,
and
you
some
won't.
Jazz, and you
should
listen to some.
No, you won't.
I'm gonna get you. I'm
You're
gonna
such a
get
liar.
You. I will.
No,
buy me
no,
the
she
best.
won't.
Buy me the best classical. Buy me what you want me to hear, and I'll listen to it. And I'll give you Jay-Z's album, and you gotta listen to it.
No, my boys have Jay-Z.
Okay, well then you need to listen.
No, I don't. I'm not doing
Well,
that.
it's really nice to see you ladies want to educate each other. So that's really great.
That's what friends do.
That's what we
Exactly.
do.
I think it's wonderful.
So yeah, so I think that was a big upset of the night. The Kesha.
Oh yes, the
performance
Kesha thing. I
was a
wanted
big
to
deal.
know about that because I didn't know like the background story, but apparently
Right.
Sheldon, you
Sheldon
are
is
up on,
very connected
you are
with
up on pop culture.
Well,
yes.
Well, Kesha, you know.
Are you a
she's-
fan? Do you listen
Yeah,
to Kesha?
actually, I am.
See?
So now, Kesha's former producer, apparently had made sexual advances to her, and apparently other people have come out, like Kelly Clarkson said.
Oh
that
wow, other artists
Yes.
that were
Artists.
in,
Yes.
under this
now
producer.
she was under contract to this producer,
Mm-hmm.
so she wanted to get released from that contract. She suffered a lot of emotional trauma
Wow.
during this time. It was in a pretty bad place emotionally. So she was trying to get out from under, and eventually they were able to come to some sort of an agreement to allow her to record, and she did release an album. And the song that she performed, Prayer, was a song that she wrote about the ordeal that she
wow.
had gone through, which was why it was such an emotional performance.
Yeah.
Her current album is actually quite good. I mean, I like it. Listen, I'm a 65-year-old man, and I can still rock out to Kesha.
Yes,
And, you
Sheldon.
know, and other
What?
artists, you
See,
know, like
hold on. I'm about
Haim,
to,
and,
yeah.
you know,
Listen, you deserve an applause for that, Sheldon.
and Carmen. Carmen's a great group if you haven't heard them.
Carmen.
They're great. They had
Look
a
them
hit
up.
called Acapello, and it's actually they're now married, but it's a guy and a gal
Okay.
that met in college, and they started recording together, and they're really quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
What's your
that
favorite music? If you're home, what are you listening to? What do you listen
Well,
to?
I listen to a lot of different music. I listen to everything from 60s music to
Nice.
to Kesha.
I love it.
The Blood, Sweat and Tears, the Beatles, Chicago.
Pearl Jam? Pearl Jam?
Yay,
What?
There wasn't even a good rock representation
Yeah.
last night.
Yeah,
Come
there
on, let's be real.
That
And
part
Think
is
about it.
very sad.
And-
Rock has been around and
Yes.
it will be around.
And,
Come
and
on.
love
My
love
Rock
the
and roll.
group. Love the group Queen.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, who doesn't love Queen?
You know, Freddie Mercury. Well, they are doing a biopic called Bohemian Rhapsody that is about the life of Freddie Mercury.
Do you know who's playing Freddie?
Yes, I do, and I don't know
Sheldon
the
knows it
actor's
all.
name, but it's the fellow who stars in that television show, Mr. Robot.
Oh, I don't know
That-
his
that's
name.
what-
I know the
who
show,
knows
but I
that?
don't
Yeah,
know
I
his
know who
name
you're
too.
talking about.
Christian Slater is and this other fellow is the star. So
Nice.
he is doing the movie, and there was a bit of a problem on that movie too because the director, who apparently is a real hot mess, wasn't showing up for the film, and eventually they fired him with 2 weeks left to go in production.
Wow.
So it should be very interesting to see. But
Yeah.
Sheldon,
Well, I love your
did you
inside
work in the
information,
entertainment
Sheldon.
industry?
No,
you did not.
no.
We need to have him. He's like a pop culture.
Yes.
And the folks,
Commentator.
and Brian May and the people from Queen, the remaining members were involved in the movie.
good.
Well, that's
Good.
good. Yeah,
Yeah,
because we
'cause-
had that conversation last week with
Yeah.
someone who was working on a biopic, and we were.
Yeah.
Bobby Brown, right?
Bobby Brown, yeah.
And we
Rita.
asked her that if Bobby Brown is participating, you know, and she said yes.
Because it always makes me, the viewer, feel more comfortable about watching it, because I prefer to watch something that the actual artists are always involved in.
And they can validate that really happened.
Exactly.
And you stay true to the story. Yeah,
exactly.
That's
Instead
really
of like
important.
hearsay and stuff like that. So yeah, I didn't know about the whole backstory from Kesha, but I thought it was a very moving performance.
Yeah, it was.
And with all of the other artists up there, and with me not even knowing what was going on, like I was crying a little bit.
Yeah, it was very, very good. I thought it was beautiful.
I could feel the emotion,
Yeah.
and I thought it was a great performance. So I think there were some great performances all in all in the Grammys.
Well, Lady Gaga, the Kesha, Despacito. You know,
I was not pleased
oh
with them.
my gosh, here we go.
I didn't love it. I didn't love.
I thought
you
it
know
was
what?
great.
I
I
thought
was
they
just
did
so
a
proud
better
of them.
job at the Latin Grammys when they performed.
Of course, they had an
than
audience
when
that was like,
what? Than when they did this. I don't know. It was just something about it. I thought it was a better performance on the Latin
Did I
Grammys.
watch a Latin Grammys?
I
don't remember.
I did.
No.
Obviously, it was very memorable.
Yeah, no, I was just so happy and proud of them that they were on the stage, and I was happy and proud
Yes.
because they sang the song in Spanish
Yes.
without Justin Bieber. And when I
Yes.
was looking on Twitter at
Yes.
this time, and everybody was tweeting how happy
Yeah.
they were that it wasn't a Justin Bieber
Yes.
version; it
I
was
have to
the
say I was
original.
happy with
So
that too,
yeah, and it was
yes.
all in Spanish. So I
They
thought,
stayed true.
yeah,
Yes.
that was good. I thought James
Shout
Corden
out
was
to Puerto
kind of cute.
Rico.
Mhm.
Puerto Rico.
James Corden was cute. I think he
Yeah.
was cute. The host.
I don't like him. I can't wait for Dave Chappelle to
Is he
host
gonna?
it.
He's gonna host.
I think so. There was talk about it, so I don't know. We're hoping.
would be good.
I'm so happy that Dave Chappelle won for his comedic album.
Oh, he did.
Yes, he
Good.
did. Love Dave Chappelle. I would
Yeah.
love to have Dave Chappelle on the show. Dave Chappelle, why don't you come be on our show? I would love to come talk to you.
Does he live here in California?
He's in Ohio, I think, but he comes to LA.
Mm.
Come on, we're gonna get
Now
on
would
that.
be a really good time to have him out with the weather up back there.
I
Give
know.
him,
Yeah,
give him a
this
shot.
This is warm over here, guys.
Okay,
It's
so
100
New
degrees
York
outside right
right
now.
I know it is.
So you wouldn't know it by
very
what I'm
hot.
wearing.
It is kind of hot.
So
in the studio,
overall, it was a mixed bag.
yeah, I liked it. She didn't. Let's move on. What's coming next? The Oscars.
The Oscars are coming next. We did the SAG Awards, which we talked about last week. I know. And then the Oscars, I think, yeah, the SAG, the Oscars.
Oscars.
Because, yeah, I don't know if there's anything in between.
don't
I'm sure
think
there's
so.
something in between.
I think we're done with music. Tony Awards. When does that? When does
Oh,
it
no,
come?
that already happened.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oprah's not running for president.
Oh, yes, that's
Newsflash,
right.
Yeah.
Where, did you read this someplace?
Yes,
Where-
yes.
Is it
It's
confirmed?
in InStyle magazine, yes. yes.
She confirmed that she
She
is not.
confirmed. She said,
Didn't she do a video? I feel like there was a video
Oh, I
about
don't
her.
know.
I was at the grocery store the other day, and that's usually where I get the rag mags and see them. And I don't know which one I was looking at, but I was in Gelson's, and it said, "Yes, I'm running," and then it gave this whole rhetoric about how her boyfriend is going to handle the campaign, and
Yeah, no,
she's
that's
putting
all
$1
not
billion
true.
in
Yeah,
it, and there was
no.
this big, and I'm like. You know, I love Oprah. I love her to
doesn't?
death, and I think that she would make an excellent vice president. But I'm not sure. She doesn't know the ropes yet in,
Yeah.
in the White House, and we already have somebody in there
Right.
that we won't even go there right now.
Right.
But at the same time,
We're
she,
going there in a second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
All
I felt
right.
the same. Listen, anybody who knows and me for like the first 10 minutes of my life, you'll know that I'm an Oprah fan
Yeah.
for all my life, and so I was like, no, I would not.
Yeah.
I wouldn't vote
You don't
for
want
her.
her for president?
No, I
Secretary
love
of
her.
State. Secretary
Yeah,
of State
like
would
so-
be great.
mhm.
Vice President,
Someone
great.
I like
that has
her for
to
vice president.
protect
Yeah,
the seal.
vice
Vice
president.
president.
I like her for vice
I
president.
want somebody in office. We're on a slippery slope right now with someone who's not a politician or
clown
schooled
in the circus.
or in some kind of legal background. Somebody who knows the law. Like if she's going to run, then let me know she's in law school right now. Like,
Or learning from right now, or
someone-
learning
you know what I'm
exactly
saying?
there.
No,
Because-
I don't know
yeah.
that she needs to be a lawyer, because then you take to people, unless you're a lawyer, unless you know the law, then you don't run for president. That's not what America is built
okay,
on.
so then
Anybody-
Donald Trump is doing a great job.
Oh,
Okay.
no,
Okay,
I
so
did
then
not
that's
say
that's
that.
the same that's the same argument.
I
He
did
didn't.
not say that.
So
It's the
Oprah
same
would be
argument.
a great ambassador. somewhere.
Right.
I think she would be a great
I'm
vice
and that's
president.
a good,
absolutely
and that's a
no.
good place for her to start out.
And
But if
after
she
having
wins,
Trump, I would not mind her as a president either.
Well,
No.
no.
We need somebody to bring us back to making this
someone
country
just said
great
yes,
again.
needing to know the law.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Hey, somebody that at least has a filter, for Pete's sake.
But you don't have to go to law school in order to know the law.
No, but you have to at least have enough understanding of the law.
Sure.
And that requires you reading and knowing the law.
Sure.
How about respect for the law? Let's
Yes.
start,
How about respect for
let's start
anything?
right there.
Yes,
And then-
and I agree with all of those
Yes.
things, but you can't take that away from the regular person, because I think a regular person, listen, any one of us, I think, at this table could do a better job than the
Of
current
course.
sitting
Of
president.
course.
You.
So,
Indeed.
yes, and I don't want to take that away from people. I don't want to take that out, because we tell our children, you can be whatever you want. You can be the president
yes.
of the United States. Just don't be an asshole.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Right now we have an
I don't
asshole.
think she falls into any of those categories. My concern is someone who is well knowledge in the law. Listen, whoever runs against this gentleman in the 2020, if he gets there
Gentleman?
that far,
Did you guys call him a gentleman?
well, I can't call him president.
and
So
that
Call him
is
a
being
person.
generous. And that is
Yeah.
being
whoever
This thing.
has to be someone who is so well prepared for the muck that's going to be coming at them,
Yes.
and for the fight, and has to be smarter than smart, because we're dealing with not only him, we're dealing with a base. So anyway, going back to Oprah, she's a wonderful person, and I have nothing against her. I think she's marvelous. She can run the world, but not the United States right now.
She can run the world, but not the
She-
U.S.
United States.
Lord
Whoever,
have
you know,
mercy.
if she wants to campaign, definitely for whomever is
Well,
going
she
to
did it
be-
for Barack Obama.
Exactly,
You know, they
and so
say
I
she
think that
Well,
she
I think
did
we,
this
again,
again
we need,
even
we,
more.
we need, what we need to do is get away from the celebrity politics.
Right,
yeah.
Thank you.
That
Well,
that does
absolutely.
not work.
Absolutely.
You know, and the problem is you can have 100% name recognition, but if you don't have the chops to do the job, then you shouldn't be doing the job.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
So I want to jump into our topic of today's show. We're talking about politics then and now, and the reason why we decided to do the first show with you guys is because I talk to you guys often. Well, you don't talk to them, but I do, and so I love to hear, and I love, and part of the show is to have different opinions from different people and different walks of life. I love hearing everyone's opinion and different generations, because I think it's important for us to understand how different things in this world are perceived by different people. And that could be your background, that could be your age, that could be your race, your nationality, many different things come
And
into
when you
play.
have these conversations, I find you become teachable.
Yes.
You know, sometimes you would never have a conversation with someone of a different nationality, and then you learn something. So
Exactly.
you're constantly learning, and that's
Yes.
what our goal is for the show. Like we've
Yes.
talked about, it's like we want to always learn something, or teach something, or educate someone, or
Yes.
us walk away going, "Wow, I didn't know that," or you
Yes.
know, that kind of conversation.
And
Yeah.
I think that's a very important, critical point right now, because
Yes.
we're very polarized
Yes.
as a nation. And we're not listening to one another any longer. And back in the day, you know, look, I was in my teens during the Vietnam War.
Wow.
And there was certainly a lot of discourse at that time, from generational discourse. But there still was a level of respect, and you didn't have to agree, but you did listen.
Yes.
Nobody's listening anymore. Nobody is staying with us when we're talking. I mean, I find that we've just gone to our individual corners, and I mean, I have an open mind, but unfortunately, I find that a lot of the folks that have disagreements with the way I think don't even want to pay attention. They don't even want
Now,
to
do you? That's such a great point. Do you think that social media has anything to do with it?
tremendously.
Everything to do with
Everything,
it.
right? Yeah.
And to do with the breakdown of it?
Yes,
or
with how polarized we are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, because it feeds upon itself.
Yeah.
But we also need it. We need
Yes.
social media.
But we're not
Yes.
being responsible with it.
No.
Exactly.
Well, and again, the problem is the media, is splintered right now. Think about it. Back in the 60s and even in the early 70s, the media outlets, besides newspapers, which people tend to not read anymore,
Right, right.
you had the big three networks. That's what fed the national and international news. So you had a half an hour of condensed Reader's Digest style news reporting. Right. Then with cable and the 24-hour news cycle, you have a need to fill 24 hours worth of programming. So,
which I think is okay, because I feel like if you're going on a global scope, then you need that amount of time.
Exactly. But, the difference, though, is that when you have compartmentalized, cable stations that only feed a certain segment, that is where we have the issues, because now what you're dealing with is people are only tuning in or hearing what they want to hear, and they're not getting the full scope of varying opinions.
Well, that's exactly right. And especially when you have the President of the United States pretty much owning one of them, what do you think is going to happen there? So all you're watching is what he wants you to watch, what he wants you to hear, and all of that stuff. And that's why everything is fake news if you watch anything else. So to what Sheldon just said, if you have the President of the United States channeling into this all of just his stuff and nothing else, where's the respect, substance in that, or anything else that you have a chance to hear and see anything else when, again, the President of the United States is doing that.
People have to go and search for it.
Right. Can I just ask something really quick? How do you think we got here? We know social media is obviously a component, but we elected someone that's so contrary to the principles and the core of our country. How do you think we got here?
I think the main reason is people really want to change.
But this is beyond.
That's the thing. But you see,
I don't think they knew.
But how did we know that when you want change, and so you're going to get somebody that's going to do it with not a bull in a china shop. You don't go and sweep everything there. Right. He's doing this. But again, how did we know this until you actually get them there? But now that he's there, and now that we know what he's doing, I think that not just the Republican Party, I think we all have an obligation to stop him. And I seriously mean this, because this is our country, not his.
Okay, so how did we,
ours.
Okay, so how did we get here?
Because we want change.
Right, so part of the problem is, and it's interesting, I was visiting some friends in Atlanta, Georgia, and in Kentucky. And this is not about the South, but it's about, although Atlanta is a very big city,
it's all still Southern.
And it's Southern, but it's about a different kind of a lifestyle where folks are, they're not watching every thing that's going on. They're sort of getting
one-sided.
And what's happened is there's a lot of anger out there. There's anger at Congress. There's anger, and that's where a lot of the problem has emanated from, because their day-to-day lives are not changing.
Right.
And what they
But is it Congress's fault?
But
these are the people that they elect.
Well, these are the people that they elect.
So what are they expecting these people to do?
Well, I think
to change their lives, but they have to also participate in changing their lives.
That's my point.
They can't just sit on the sidelines and say, "Hey, I want this to happen and that to happen," and not participate.
But I think to speak to what you were saying about getting fed the information, so if they're already angry and they're already in this anger lane, and they're getting this information, so they're not getting a broader.
Well, that's it, and so the problem is the discourse is so narrow right now that it's a scratch itch situation.
Right.
They one thing feeds into another, and it gets bigger, and it gets angrier, and it gets nastier, and then when you get a huckster who
takes advantage of the exact situation because he knows that.
And he's feeding that segment of the population that is already upset and already angry. Now, let's go back a few years, quite a few years, but I was thinking about it, and it truly disturbs me that the fake news that you were mentioning earlier, the assault on our freedom of the press is extraordinarily disturbing.
It's terrifying.
And with such vehemence, and yet what's interesting is that there is a unfortunately, a larger group of people that are buying into it. Do you remember, you ladies are probably a little too young, but the quote, "Nadering nabobs of negativity"?
No.
Okay, you know who said that?
No.
Vice President Spiro Agnew, about the press when they were under siege.
Wow.
So it's not the first time that the press has been assaulted by, the government for doing their job of reporting. The press will always be assaulted because they're the purveyors of truth.
Yes,
they're the investigators to keep government and the rest of them honest as they can be.
But do you think that it's worse now than, say, back in maybe the Nixon administration? Because that was our last administration that was very like,
under
oh
siege.
My God, yes.
Yes, well,
because at that point, did you have, I want to say, do you feel like at that time in the country that news was more, they didn't have the opportunity to be more biased like they are now? Because I feel like right now there is a clear bias.
Well, there is.
We were speaking about people getting fed what they wanted to hear.
So here's,
do you think it was like that always, or do you think now?
So here's what my opinion is, and that is because, again, remember back then you had newspapers which people actually read.
And discussed with each other, and not just watched the TV.
Do you think those were more fact-based?
Exactly.
Well, yes.
Yeah, I think that,
we expected more then, too.
So you had that. Now, you know, the fact is that people aren't reading. Hey, you know what's kind of interesting? I'm going to take a little side trip here. You know what kind of struck me as being unusual? Okay, so this whole Stormy Daniels thing, right? You know about that?
Yes.
All right, and the supposed rumor that she spanked him with a rolled up magazine of Forbes. Do you realize that's probably the closest he's come to reading in years?
I don't believe that he read it. It just might have been in the room.
I don't believe he read it either. I don't
she
think
just
he
picked it up and went,
Well,
exactly, but you're absolutely right.
But that was speaking truth to the seat of power.
Yeah.
But you know, the worst thing though about the freedom of the press and that is what our president is doing with the press, because we're not just going out. He's not just going out there and saying this is fake news, but he's endangering all of our the press in different countries and in countries where it's so suppressed and everything.
And
everything.
And the CIA
and he's dangerous.
Every institution that is critical to the security and the sanctity of our country. So, but back to what you were saying, what you were asking earlier in terms of, okay, so the difference now is there is, with all of the social media, that can be, manipulated a lot easier than the newspapers, the network news. And the problem is that people tend to not venture out beyond what their comfort level is. So if they do Facebook
or even fact check.
So doesn't that mean that we as a country, as an individual, we have that responsibility too.
That's right.
To seek out the truth.
Yes.
Okay, there's 3 networks: CNN, Fox, and MSNBC.
Right.
Okay, those are the 3 most popular and I think the most reliable networks. But we still, as an individual, owe it to ourselves to make sure that what we're seeing is we have that obligation too. We can't just rely on everybody. And I think that's not nice. And I forgot who said this, but it's one of my faves. I may not agree with what you say and what the press says, but I will defend to the death your right to say it.
Exactly.
So that to me that just sums it up. And I think we each have a responsibility to do that.
Well, we do. And the problem again is that people are so.
What does this say to the younger generation? Like I have a 22-year-old that his first time voting was in this election. And boy, he was mad. He's like, this is what I get to vote for? This is so insane.
Yeah, I agree.
So what do you say to, what is this saying to the next generation that's coming up? How are we teaching them what politics or running for public office
Should
really
look like.
should look like,
Yeah.
what it takes, where's the education.
First of all, do your due diligence.
Yeah.
You have to look at everything. You have to filter it out in your mind. You have to see what it is, and you have to do research.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It's interesting. I am a perpetual optimist, and
Oh, it says who?
says me. So, but you know, as frustrating and maddening, and truly perverse as these times are,
Yes.
let's kind
That's a
of
good word.
Let's kind of look at the positive backlash, the Me Too, movement. The fact that there are more women who are now going to be running
Yes.
for
Yes.
politics,
Yes.
and the fact
We get
that
an applause and an
while
amen
you
for
know
that.
it's kind of
was quick.
thank you. And it's galvanizing
Yeah.
people who have gotten too fat and lazy
Right.
to
Yes.
to Gloria's point, to sitting there and allowing things to just
So it's
happen.
ignited.
Right.
It's
So
Ignited
it
a
really
little
is
fire.
igniting. You know what? And it's interesting because we came out of 8 years of an amazing administration with dignity, and I got to tell you, I did not vote for President Obama the first time around, not because I didn't like him, but because he didn't have as much experience, and I was
Exactly.
concerned about that.
And look what we have now.
Well, but
But after his first 4 years,
oh my God, wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think he is will be judged as one of the greatest presidents
Yes. Wow.
in history, because what he has done, what his integrity level is
Yes.
beyond reproach.
Yeah.
And I'm just, I was so proud of, and I didn't agree with all of his
Yeah.
policies.
Yeah, neither did I, but I voted for him
But
twice.
boy, I'll tell you what, you know what, he was kind of the template of what a modern day American president
Right.
should
Yeah.
I
be.
agree.
I want to say two
I
things
agree.
to what you just said. I've said this on the show before, is that we had an 8-year love affair with
Yes.
President Obama.
And
We
his
were
family.
And his family, and just
and everything was very comfortable
yes.
and safe.
And we felt the warm and fuzzies
Exactly.
with him. So we kind of took a back seat. Now, because of who we have in office, we were, thank
What?
God.
We've become
we-
complacent. eternal vigilance is the price of freedom.
Oh, look at that.
And-
I gotta write that
And
somewhere.
I'm telling you, and
Say
that
it
should
one
be
more
on
time.
Eternal
that
vigilance is the
eternal
price.
vigilance is the price of freedom.
Yes, you have to be woke.
We
That's
should
really what
have
it
that
means.
on a T-shirt,
Stay
because
Yeah.
once we start getting lax and complacent,
Yeah.
that's when everybody starts grabbing us, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
Well, so to
And-
speak.
Yeah,
And-
yeah, exactly.
I
Well,
literally-
they had been grabbing us. Now we're telling the world.
Exactly.
And the other thing I want to say is, I was having this conversation with someone the other day, and I said, it's not, they think that my opposition to the gentleman in the office is because he's a Republican.
Oh,
and
no.
I said
No.
that has
Nothing to do with that.
nothing
Yeah.
to do with it.
Well,
because
because
in
he's not
my
a human
past-
being.
But he's
Exactly.
not. But he's not even a Republican.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's
but
not.
He's
but
an
he's
opportunist.
but he is appeasing that base with with his appointments and his appearances
Well-
and his rhetoric. But what I was going to say was that it's the character of the man that because George Bush was
Elected, right.
elected, his dad was elected. We had other Republicans in
Republicans.
office that had some sense of dignity and
Exactly. And they had respect
And
for
to say that
themselves
the
and
Republicans,
the American
or
people.
he is representing Republicans, is absolutely awful, because
Yeah.
there are people who are Republicans, who are staunch Republicans, that call themselves Republicans, and I don't believe that they have the same character as this man.
Right.
So why they
Well-
align themselves with his beliefs and what he's doing is
Right,
just beyond
Felicia,
me.
and that's the interesting thing,
Isn't it?
because
Yeah.
where is the Congress and is just shameful
everybody blowing up.
right now, because look, it isn't about Republican or Democrat.
Right.
It's about America. It's
Right.
about
Right.
our country and the sanctitude of our country
Yeah.
and its people. And they are falling down on their fiduciary responsibilities. It's not partisan politics, it's called survival. We've been assaulted by, an outside country that is
Yep.
hostile to us.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, do you realize that probably President Trump, uses.
Oh, don't call him that.
No. But but he subscribes to Netflix.
Oh my! Boom, boom. We need one of those little things.
Netflix.
You want to see current programming? Niet. You want to see movies? Niet. But you know what you're going to do? We're going to be watching you.
Yeah.
Yes, we are watching you.
Yes, it's and that in itself is just terrifying.
But it's scary.
Yeah, it is very scary.
Oh, God,
People
I
are,
love Netflix.
It's okay, and I'm going to say this. This past week, the evangelicals giving him a pass.
Oh, please!
A pass. I was so
They're
offended.
hypocrites.
I
These
was
people
like,
are hypocrites.
Who does that? It is
Yes.
like another level of
Oh my God!
insanity.
That
like,
makes me
what is he
question
giving
people
them?
who
They're
are religious.
Right,
That
but
makes
they're
me
doing
really
this
Because
because
they have
they're
a
getting
motive.
stuff. And talk about greed and talk about being a hypocrite.
It's a
but you're a
motive.
Christian.
Sake.
Yeah.
But you're a
Thank
Christian.
you, but you're a Christian.
No,
Why?
you
Because
can't say
believe
they're
that?
Christians. They're evangelicals. Because Catholics are Christians. I'm a Christian.
well-
The Christian is it's a broad term. They are evangelicals.
Well,
That's
right now,
very
they're,
different.
right now they're hypocrites
Well,
with a
but
capital
thank you.
H.
Yes.
But again, and this is the point, and this is the point about Congress, is that they are selling their souls, as are the evangelicals, because what they truly stand for, the core of who they really are and what they believe in, they are selling themselves out to.
It's disgusting.
The ends justifies the means.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
selling themselves very cheaply. Very cheaply.
And they're selling our country out, and this is very scary. But as I said, as a person that feels very positive about our future, I think that this is a pendulum, and it will swing the other way.
Oh, absolutely.
And
Well, we've seen it in the past.
Yes.
I mean, and I'm hoping that history will kind of sort of repeat
It's
itself.
going to repeat itself.
But real quickly, I want to take a break and we have like Facebook blowing up. Like people are
Yes.
like all over.
Someone said it takes too much work to seek things out for themselves, and I think
We're
that's
lazy.
Well, yeah, but no. In fairness to that comment, we're
overwhelmed.
overstimulated
And
with
we're
so much
overwhelmed
information.
with this administration because we've never seen anything like
Because
this.
it's like this. It's
well, it's
continuous.
it's a day-to-day,
Right.
moment-to-moment, hour-to-hour assault.
This
I mean,
is true.
you turn on the TV and you're going, my head's going to explode.
Yeah.
But you still
It's
have
very-
to, instead of
Right.
being on
It's a
Facebook and
full-time
Instagram,
job.
seeing what
Exactly.
your friends got on or what they were eating for lunch, go look up some politics.
Absolutely.
Go.
I agree.
You need to shift your priorities. We need
Listen,
to shift our
someone
priorities.
the
and
other
not
day-
everybody wants to do that,
No.
especially young people, because they're very self-absorbed. So I
They
feel like this
are.
is a really dangerous time.
Unfortunately.
Because we have a young generation of people who are very self-absorbed, and then we have this foolishness going on. And so who's doing the checks and balances?
Right.
It's left to the people who, either have the time or have the sense. And it's scary because are we going to continue to let this happen? Is it going to happen
No.
again? Is he going to be elected again? Are we going to have enough force and evidence and push to have him get out of office? Do we have any other comments?
No, they were saying when we sit down and have a conversation, you realize you're more alike than different, which is good.
That's true.
And they're just
and there's common ground that for all of us, and that's again what I was saying a little earlier, that we need to listen to one another.
Each other, exactly.
And we need to give
Yeah.
each other the respect
Yeah.
that we would like to receive as well.
Yeah.
And it's okay to not agree.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yes.
that's what makes this country
Exactly.
great. I mean, we are
Yeah.
inclusive.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the beauty of America. That I want to have friends with differing opinions.
right.
I want to have
Absolutely, you
friends.
cannot be the smartest person in the room.
Well,
You gotta
and
be-
even in this room,
Yeah,
we have
exactly.
different opinions, and this
Yeah.
is what brings us together.
Yeah.
That's right.
But this is the first time we've been assaulted like this,
Yeah,
though,
it's-
with the President of the
Well,
United
our
States.
country is being assaulted from within
Yes.
and from without.
Yes.
And it's a
Together.
very
Do you think he'll make it to the end of his first term?
I hope not.
I'm
you
counting
think-
on him
Yeah.
not doing
I
it.
hope
What
I'm-
will happen?
I hope I'm not too vague about that.
Yeah, exactly. Here's a frightening, and I said this the other day at home. I said, what would happen if Robert Mueller comes back and says, no collusion, no nothing happened, everybody
I'm
go
going to
home.
be very disappointed, to
Well,
be honest.
I'm going to leave the country because
Well,
then
Yeah, because
Donald
I don't know
Trump,
what
there's
he
no
do.
stopping him
There's
then.
No,
Yes.
there's really not.
Yeah.
There's really not.
Well,
So he needs to get his stuff together. And so this is because we're almost at a time. Like we have,
Oh,
Yeah.
darn
we're
it.
like
Yeah.
going. We have like 7 minutes left. But I wanted to get to this question, and I wanted to ask you, in the basis of our show, what is the difference between then and now? So you said Well, Vietnam was happening when you were in high school, and I'm not trying to date you guys or anything like that. But what I want to understand is back when like the Nixon administration was happening, and we had something similar to what's going on now. Then you all were young, in your late 20s, early 30s. Was this something, your teens? Were you concerned about it then, or do you feel like you were that you are more concerned about politics and what's going on now? Later in your life,
I'm more concerned about it now because then again, we didn't have the social media then. I'm a little older than Sheldon. I was, and you're. In that time, we didn't have it. We just had the newspaper, and we were really absorbed in what we needed to do. But at that time, we also felt safer. We had. The government was respected then, and even in the Nixon administration and the Nixon era, yes, it happened, but we didn't get this continuous assault every day. We respected the government. We had
but Nixon was
feeling,
doing the same thing.
Well,
Nixon was trying to.
He was, but again, we weren't as aware of it then because we didn't have Twitter. We didn't have the constant Twitter.
But he wasn't on Twitter, right? He wasn't offending and assaulting.
No, he was flying to China to do, shuttle
But
diplomacy.
but we didn't know all of this.
But the thing is that it was a different. What Trump has done is trivialize the presidency.
Yes.
Nixon didn't.
And the American people.
Nixon didn't trivialize the presidency. He abused it, but he didn't trivialize it. And it's very interesting too. I despised Nixon. Didn't like him at all. I actually went to the Nixon Museum, the Nixon Library, about 2 months ago.
Oh, wow.
And
how was that? I would like to go there.
I have to tell you something. I was a bit shocked. And why I was shocked was, as much as I did not like Nixon, I realized some of the things that he did by today's standards, he would have been considered almost democratic in his politics, because do you realize that he is the one that started the EPA, the Environmental Protection Agency?
Wow.
He brought in more diverse people into the White House and into the government, more women, more people of color. He was a proponent for equal pay. And so this person who, in my mind, I had demonized, all of a sudden I'm going, wow, I wish if we had to have a Republican, I would have rather had him now than
so
what
you see,
we've got.
and that's more to the point. If we would have had more of the social media, and I keep going to that, but that's the only thing I have to reference it to, we would have known what you're saying then more so than now. So that's, I think, the main reason why we are seeing this now, even though we saw a little bit of it then, and it's like like Sheldon said, he didn't trivialize it, he abused it, but we didn't know the other side of it, which we would have known then. But now we see everything now. We see both sides now.
Mostly the ugly from
and mostly the ugly, but that's what it is. It's up close and personal.
Well, and the good part of that, again, being Mr. Positive here, is that you can run, but you cannot hide. So things that would be more undercurrent in the past cannot avoid scrutiny now. It eventually comes out.
But how much is enough? When is enough enough?
Well, but now the problem, though, is with this assault on the media and the fake news is, what will people believe? Will they only believe what they want to believe, as opposed to be open to
we need...
I think we're there already. I think people are just going to believe what they're going to believe what they want to believe,
and that's frightening.
And that is frightening.
Well, we have to figure out a way to open up their minds and to show them something different.
But you know what? That's going to be difficult, simply because if we see, and I don't want to call him President Trump, we see Trump lying every day. He will lie and say blatantly, we're not talking these little white lies, we're talking earth-shaking lies, and then he comes and says something else. If people don't see this and look at this, what is it going to take? Seriously. You can't just look at somebody and every time he opens his mouth, it's a lie.
Well, and
if people don't see that, what? How?
Well,
go ahead.
And the sad part is, okay, it's not just the words. We've got it on tape.
Yes,
we've got all these contradictions.
And we can confirm it, and we can verify that it's a lie.
But nobody cares. Why don't we care about that?
Why don't we?
Why don't we?
Well, I think they have an incredible team, and this is all true, of pundits that go on these shows and spin everything
Then we have to be
brilliantly.
smarter than these
Yeah, we
people,
do.
and we have to go back to common sense and truth and respect.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
And
For
talk
the
to
government
each other.
and for us,
I
and
think
talk
we
to
have
each other.
Continue
Well,
to talk to
and-
each other
and-
and give each other opinions and be open to it and be willing to go and talk to somebody else about our opinion. You guys sharing your opinions and, hearing
and
other
you know
people.
what? And the first step is let's get out there and vote.
Vote.
Yes.
That's what I
Oh
say.
my gosh, yes.
Vote
That's
and
what I
vote
say.
and vote, and then let's find a candidate that is worthy to carry the mantle.
Yeah.
And
And have this conversation at home around the table. Talk
Yes.
about it all the
Yes.
time. Don't
Yes.
ignore it. Don't leave it
Yeah.
for the schools
And
to take
that's-
care of.
Actually, we do. I have to say when I'm
Yeah.
with Leisha and Mark,
Yeah.
we talk about that. When I'm with my friends, with
Yeah.
Sheldon, with a lot of people, we do
Yeah.
Yeah.
talk about this a lot,
Yeah.
and
But
we
you gotta
have
go
to.
broader. I
And
think
we
you
do.
gotta
that's
go
it.
broader.
Well,
Yeah.
and then you know what? Maybe this is a call to arms for people in their communities, just to have
Yeah.
these nice little round
Yeah.
tables.
Yes.
And
Yeah,
just say, look,
and not
you
be
know,
afraid.
And
You-
not be afraid.
And to talk about politics. You sit around a table
Yes.
with someone who's a
Yes.
Republican, and they're like, "We don't talk politics."
Yes.
Why?
I think
We
that
need
day
have
needs
this
to be over
conversation.
when we
Yeah.
say, "Oh, it's not polite to talk about politics
Right.
and religion." I think those days are over, and we
Well,
have to change.
Yeah, if
that.
we
Consider-
don't, this is what it gets us.
Well,
Yeah.
right,
and-
what we're
well,
in right
this is
now.
where we are.
Considering everything else that we see that's so, just gross,
Yeah.
why can't we talk
Yeah.
about
And we
politics?
will
Exactly,
continue
yeah.
to talk about it because that's what
Yes,
we do
that's
here.
what we do
Yeah.
And
here.
we've run out of time.
Oh, no.
Oh my goodness! And everybody, I mean, we still have more comments. We'll talk about that later. But
Yeah.
thank you, Sheldon, Gloria, for
Thanks for
being
having
here.
us.
Of
Thanks
course,
very
much.
I think you're going to have to come back. I
We
think
love
they're
it.
going to have to be the political pundits of
I
our
think
show.
you guys have like some fans. On
Yeah,
here
I know.
too, 'cause
This
I'm
whole
getting
the
a lot
Facebook
of-
thing was like.
Everybody's loving you guys.
Thank you, everybody.
Yes,
Thank you
absolutely.
very
We
much.
hope
Love
you
you back.
have been informed, educated, and entertained. Catch us next Monday here on LA Talk Radio Live. Have a great rest
Have
of
a
your
great
week.
week. Bye.
You're listening to Table for Five with Felicia and Annette, only on LA Talk Radio.